We're going to begin services in just a few minutes, but we thought it would be lovely, as has become our custom, to welcome this moment with some song. Shabbat Shalom. Please sit back and enjoy. We hope that if you have candles, Kiddush, Challah, any of the above with you, that you'll get it set up. I see some of you have that already. And we will begin with some singing. This is just a nigun to help us kind of stretch ourselves a little bit, let go of the week that has passed, and wish one another Shabbat Shalom. Take a deep breath. Ya la la ya la ya la ya la la ya la 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 ya 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 la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la la la. We call this the snapping and clapping nigun because it's an opportunity for you to clap your hands together. Ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. This is the snapping part of the nigun. If you know how to snap your fingers. Ya la 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 ya la ya la la ya la la ya la ya la ya la 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 ya la. Back to clapping. Here we go. Ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. That's my attempt at a trill, I think, right? Cantor Viva, that's what that's called. Shabbat Shalom, welcome. It's wonderful to see everyone. This is a wonderful time for you to kind of scroll through the gallery view. If you know how to turn that on in the upper right corner of your screen, you should find, it should say speaker view or gallery view. As we begin, you're welcome to just wave to one another. Shabbat Shalom. Hello. It's wonderful to see so many smiling, familiar faces and to wish one another Shabbat Shalom. Let's see if we can sing maybe one other song, another nigun that has been in my head for a little bit here. This is a very simple nigun. I hope that you'll consider joining me. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la ya la la ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la la. Rabbi Scott, we have missed you. We're so happy to have you back, to welcome us. Shabbat Shalom to you and Shabbat Shalom to all of you.
Shabbat Shalom. I first of all want to just thank everyone. It's incredible that I feel like I've been on the other side of this many times and didn't know at that time quite how much it means to have somebody just say, hey, I'm thinking of you. I'm holding you in my heart. I'm carrying you. I have been away for a little bit to grieve and be with my family as we mourn our loss. And I want you to know that I have felt your presence with me. There's something special about being together and feeling carried in that way as we celebrate things in our lives, as we take moments to mourn. And so I want to thank you for that. And I also want to say that there is something to this moment as well. We know that we create the time that we live in. Each day is set in the ways that we create it to be. Now, maybe even more than ever, we understand that, as days can kind of blend one into the other, as we create structure and meaning out of those days. And so I invite us this evening to set that structure, to create meaning, and to give our voices in song to this beautiful holiday that is a gift for each of us, and to welcome it with open hearts as we sing this evening. And so we begin with Yedid Nefesh, to welcome in this holiday of Shabbat, as I feel welcome back into this community, and as I offer my gratitude for each of you welcoming me into your hearts.
Yedid Nefesh of Harachaman Meshoch Avdecha רצונך, ירוץ עבדך כמו אייל, ישתחווה אל מול הדרך, ירב לו ידידותיך, מנופת צוף וכל טעם. יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, יאללה לי 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 לי, yalla la 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 la, yalla la 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 la. I've had a few people ask me, they say, Cantor, why is it that our go-to syllable is yailalai? Where does that come from? I can assure you it's not from the Indian Jewish tradition. But what I can say is that the beauty of these nigunim or wordless melodies, whether it's yalala or yailalai, die-di-die, whatever it is that it's supposed to remove the barrier from participation. The goal is that when we take out the difficulty of the text, we remove a stumbling block between us and the opportunity for prayer. So melodies, just wordless melodies, have the opportunity to transport us spiritually and emotionally. And so that is why you will hear us singing nigunim, and the goal is always to have you participate. I thought I would share with you this evening my favorite melody for Mizmor Shir Layom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot L'Adonai. It is good to sing praise to Adonai. Mizmor Shir Layom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot L'Adonai. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat, Tov Lehodot L'Adonai, Ulzamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Ulzamer L'Shimcha Elyon, Le'hagid Baboker Chastecha, ואמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני.
Mizmor Shir, a blessing, a song, a zemer for Shabbat. Thank you for that beautiful melody. And we're so happy to welcome all of you into this very sacred space for Shabbat. Earlier today, I had a really very special opportunity to welcome a new baby into the world and into a family and into our community. Now, I do not have the opportunity to see all of the people who are here, so I'm counting on our staff to find Lexi and David. This is Amy and Dwayne Isaac's daughter and son-in-law. Lexi and David welcomed in their baby, Calvin, just very recently. We are also, I think, going to be able to welcome David's parents, Ruth Ann and John Leitner. But I wanted to see if, just for a moment, we could unmute Lexi and David, if we could find them and wish them a Shabbat Shalom so that we might offer them a blessing and congratulate them, and that everyone can see this very, very cute baby. Dan, any luck in finding them there? I know that we have a lot of participants in the room now.
Can you hear us?
Oh, there we go. Hi.
Hello. We're
We're
bringing-
going to find the baby.
We're getting them right now.
We're go- This was the danger, I think, of me not being able to see everyone, but to Dwayne and Amy and to David who's there, Mazal Tov to you. Yeah, we'll wait a second. That's okay.
He's on his way.
King of the castle, here he comes.
I see in our chat room, and you're welcome to join us in the chat at any point in the service. For all of you who are here, this is a wonderful opportunity to wish Mazel Tov and congratulations. Hi, Lexi, and hello, Calvin.
Hello.
Shabbat Shalom. Oh, now he was very participatory when we offered a blessing earlier today. So I'm going to let you say a Shabbat Shalom to everyone so that the camera will switch to you, and then I'm going to offer you a blessing. So would you like to say a word of Shabbat Shalom and welcome?
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for all sharing this amazing gift with us.
We appreciate being brought into your home. I know, Amy and Dwight, you are actually away visiting and quarantining with the family. It's really a gift. To Ruth Ann and John, if you are here, I know that you are also going to be able to head up. What a wonderful gift to share this moment with your family. And to me, Calvin, wanted to share this blessing with you, and the cantor's actually going to help me as we bless this new child, which we named just a few hours ago, Caleb ben David Vachaya. Mazal Tov to you, and Caleb, I'm sure, as his namesake in the Torah, will be filled with strength and offer your family much strength. Cantor, if you join me, we'll offer these words, Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction, which is our blessing for your family tonight.
Yavarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God offer you blessing and offer you peace.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
May the light of God shine down upon you and shine through you into the world.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'aseim lecha shalom.
May God always treat you with kindness, and through this great joy that we are able to share with you tonight, even across the miles, may we all experience God's most precious gift, the gift of peace, of wholeness and completeness. Mazal Tov to you and Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Congratulations to your whole family. And as you make your way down, off the bima now, Shabbat Shalom to you. I'm also now going to welcome Betsy Backy, a member of our board of directors, who has a word of welcome to share as well.
Hi, I just want to say Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Hello. So it is so special to see everybody here tonight. So, and I think I'm going to light the candles. Okay.
Beautiful. So if you have candles with you, we encourage you to go ahead and light, and please join me in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom. We will join together now in Kiddush. If you've got wine or juice with you or any other beverage, we invite you to raise a glass with us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav ורצבנו, ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים.
L'chaim, l'chaim, everyone. The next prayer that we want to offer is the Shema. And there's a piece to the Shema I'd like to tease out a little bit with us together. And that is that it offers both the word Yisrael and it ends with the word Echad, that main line anyway. Yisrael is a word that comes from struggle, from a place of wrestling, literally when Jacob was wrestling with that angel or Ish person, whoever that was in the story. And it has come to be our name as a people. We are Yisrael, we struggle. And the same line ends with the word Echad. I'd like to suggest this. The word Echad means one. We go about our week, bringing in disparate threads of our life and seeing lots of different needs in and around our world. And on Shabbat, we get to kind of bring them together a little bit. We are Yisrael throughout the week. But on Shabbat, I invite one moment of Echad, a moment of togetherness, a moment where we don't have to worry about all those different threads. We can just celebrate being with one another, being together on this holiday. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Leolam Vayim. Baruch Shem Kevod Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Leolam Vayim. And thou shalt love Adonai thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be on thy heart, shall be on thy heart. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt speak of them when thou sittest in thy house, When thou walkest by the way, and when thou risest up, and when thou liest down, and when thou liest down, and thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thy hand, and they shall be for frontlets between thine eyes. And thou shalt write them on the doorposts of thy house, and upon thy gates, and upon thy gates, that ye shall remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God.
Thank you so much for that, Rabbi Scott. That's a melody that always reminds me of camp, actually. We sang that at camp, and it's an important reminder of the Shema, too, a beautiful teaching. The Shema forms the heart, the core of the first part of every Shabbat service. And the second part is an opportunity for us to move through the words of the Amidah, traditionally a standing prayer, but they are supposed to lead us in that moment of standing alone towards a silent prayer. The silent prayer, say the rabbis, is actually the most important part of the service because it's the time when the doors of prayer are open, the gates to our hearts are open, and the prayer that we each bring into the space might pour forward. I invite us into a moment of silent prayer with this thought. Let us remember as we pray that we are not alone. Let us remember when we pray that we do not pray alone. Let me remember during that silence that there are many voices that I need to hear. The voices of loved ones shut out from our homes, the voices of friends, their encouragement that would be here if they could, the voices of those most vulnerable for whom we stay inside, those in assisted living and hospital who cannot even leave their room for fear of illness, those around the world right now with whom we are connected like never before. Let us remember when we pray silently that our prayer is an act of will, an unspoken and yet powerful thought that can connect us to them, that can stir our souls to action. Let us remember that we do not ever pray fully alone. We pause for a moment of meditation and silent prayer.
Oh, say shalom, be shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru amen ve'imeru amen ve'imeru amen ve'imeru amen.
Our thoughts now turn to those in our community who are in need of healing. And I know that our words, offering these blessings, these prayers, that does bring healing to those who are in need of that. We understand that healing as a healing of the body or a healing of the heart, the mind, or the soul. And so together we are thinking of Marjorie Gullett. I'd like to also offer us the opportunity now to bring names into our chat. I will do my best to offer their names. My apologies if I read the name in a different way than they pronounce it. But I want to invite you now, if you are thinking of anyone in particular, to offer their names in the chat. Dennis Gelbart, Nancy Bonham, Bernie Potier, Harvey Katz, Robert Bob Koreski, Barbara Shapiro, Jeff Weissman, David Mendelson, Celia Katz, Larry Graves, Julie Peterson, Robert Quaddy, Zach Berman, Stephanie Pottinger, Judy Rossman, Irina Dolinga, Charles Lautner, Hari Lev Goldstein, Matt Krause. We hold these people in our hearts: Rosemary Burkett, Herschel Berger, all of these people in our hearts as we offer these words of healing.
This evening, instead of singing a setting of Misha Berach with you, I decided to share a video of something that was made this week that's extremely moving. Hazamir is a famous movement. It's really a movement. It is it's a Jewish youth choir and choral movement across the world. And there are multiple chapters of Hazamir. Hazamir HaSharon is a chapter in Israel, and they recorded, while social distancing, a perfect setting of Cantor Leon Scher's Heal Us Now. And so Rabbi Brett is going to go ahead and share his screen and play it for us now. I hope it is as moving for you as it was for me.
רפאנו אדוני ונרפא, הושיענו וניוושע, אל קרוב לכל קורב, אך קרוב לרעב אישו. We pray for healing of the body.
the beautiful setting does continue for another verse. We certainly hope that you found healing and comfort in that setting as we did, and perhaps we will share that link to the video on our Facebook page.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Cantor Viva. It's a beautiful setting that we're familiar with, of course, from singing it ourselves, but to connect ourselves with tonight with those in Israel singing it and to hear it with such beautiful harmony. We're unable to do harmony normally in these COVID days using Zoom, so it's really a beautiful gift to share with us. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom to all of you. I'd like to share a few thoughts with you this evening. To be Jewish means to live a life of mitzvot, of righteous deeds and commandments. We read, we learn, we challenge ourselves. We hope to not let this year be as the last, but instead to constantly improve our character, to allow religious rituals like this very Shabbat experience to help us grow into the people that we strive to become. We recognize that we are not yet finished products. And in the words of our prayer book, we pray that our hearts are filled with these ideas prescribed to us in Torah, that Jewish values do not remain these hypotheticals, but that we integrate them into our lives. There has simply never been a more important moment for our commitment to Jewish living than right now. The ancient rabbis remind us actually that there are really a few basic rules, ideals that we hold high and that we pursue our entire lives, that they're difficult for us to master. And none of them is more fundamental, more basic to the heartbeat of the Jewish people than this: love your neighbor as yourself. The book of Leviticus asks us to begin with a concern and a compassion for our neighbors, a command that is repeated in one form or another more times in Torah than any other law. Our sacred Shabbat is even listed only twice in Scripture, but the imperative to put the needs of our neighbors on par with our own needs, it is mentioned 36 times in Torah, double chai, as if to say that life itself depends upon it. And our tradition is filled with examples of the importance of this mitzvah. The destruction of the temple was caused, so they say, by sinat chinam, senseless hatred among human beings, the antithesis of love we are meant to show one another. The minor holiday of Lag BaOmer, which occurs this week, actually, on Tuesday, it celebrates the end of a plague which struck the students of the famous Rabbi Akiva and ended on this day between Passover and Shavuot. The Talmud, that ancient writing, suggests that the reason that these devoted students were stricken by plague in the first place was that they had forgotten the commandment to love their neighbors, that only when they learned to treat one another with respect was the plague ended. Many of the stories we tell around the campfire, Baal Shem Tov stories, even the earliest tales of the Talmud, they revolve around the same theme. When we become overly focused on ourselves, when we forget those around us, when selfishness and self-centeredness take hold of our communities, the world suffers. Some may argue that this imperative to help our neighbors, it only applies to those perhaps in the same zip code, or even worse, those on the same street as us. They are, after all, the ones that we actually call our neighbors. But the Hebrew makes it more clear, and it's supported by commentary upon commentary throughout the ages, that these divisions that we fabricate, the subdivisions that separate our neighborhoods and cities, they're artificial. They're superficial. They serve only to blind us to our obligations beyond. We live in a global community. We are separated by those halfway around the world or halfway across the city only by our deliberate unwillingness to look at them, to see them, to recognize those human beings too as our neighbors. The Torah simply ties our fates together. Ve'ahavta re'echa kamocha. Love your neighbor not even as your family, but as yourself. Those who seem so different from you, they're actually the same. You must care for them the way that you care for yourself. It pushes us outside of our comfort zone. It challenges us to think differently about those steps that we take to protect ourselves and our families, and it forces us to confront the reasons why we will not or have not taken those same steps to protect others. The governor has suggested a roadmap for reopening our state. His administration argues that the numbers of those with the COVID virus have decreased, that we are prepared to test those in need of testing, and to care for all those who might need our care. But this week, Mayor Hogsett responded by extending our city's stay-at-home order and offering no exception even for houses of worship, which the governor suggested would serve as control groups if they were open now. Now, I know that this time of isolation is challenging, it is difficult. Our lives have been interrupted, our financial stability has been shaken. Many in our congregation and our city need to go back to work. But the reasons for the quarantine in the first place, they were never about our own health or our safety, our financial security. Quarantine was always about our concern for others, and it still is. I see many who leave their homes still without a mask, go shopping, take on projects of home remodeling. As I waited last week for groceries to be delivered to my car at the curb, I watched dozens of our fellow Indiana citizens, our neighbors, refuse to participate in social distancing or to wear any protection. We have heard stories of some who have even responded with anger or violence at suggestions that they need to simply follow the CDC's guidelines. I know that the frustrations are real. The challenges of the situation we are in are compounded by a culture which mistrusts scientists and science and instead places its faith in social media trends and unconfirmed conspiracy theories. The truth is that those individuals, the ones who go shopping, who leave the house without a mask, who visit other families without distancing, they will most likely be just fine. Even if they do contract the disease, they will likely not experience symptoms or distress. They may never even know that they've been in contact with the virus, but they will have single-handedly thwarted our society's effort to slow the virus's spread. They will have put others at greater risk, and even if that risk is very complicated to see and more complicated to measure. We are trying to protect others and not ourselves. If we have to eventually share this illness, we are trying to delay that inevitability until testing actually is available, until treatments are proven more effective, and if possible, until a vaccine is at least on the horizon. But our concern, it's not only for ourselves. It's not even only for our children. It is for our parents and the parents and grandparents of others, and for millions who are at great risk and who are our neighbors wherever they call home. We will not know how effective our efforts have been until long after the crisis has passed. Unless we ourselves get sick, we may never know. But we need to be the ones now to maintain vigilance, to slow the spread, to allow the wisdom of our healthcare workers, our friends who are nurses and doctors, researchers and pharmacists, to inform our decision to remain in quarantine. We must simply love our neighbors as we do ourselves. We must know the stranger, for we were once strangers ourselves in Egypt. We have to fight against this growing resentment and rage and anger, and recognize that we cannot return to our jobs and our lives until this issue is resolved in an honest and truthful way. I know that the pain we are all feeling is real. The lasting effects on businesses, schools, restaurants, and houses of worship. It will be felt for years to come. But as Governor Cuomo of New York put it only today, there is science to this, contrary to politics and emotions. He wrote, "I know because we have seen it around the globe. There are the facts. There is no doubt that this period is terrible, but we have to move through it together." He ended by saying, the nicest surprise could be that we actually behave reasonably, responsibly, based on the facts and based on the data. This is hard, he reminds us. We simply want to stop doing what is hard, but we know that it is necessary. My friend and colleague Rabbi Paul Kipnis wrote this: after all of the summer camps in the country, the Jewish summer camps decided to do the smart thing, the compassionate thing, and to close this summer. He wrote, "I am compassionate. I care about them so much, and so I am saving lives. I am a role model, and I influence others, so I'm teaching us all responsibility. I am responsible, so I am saving lives." On this Mother's Day weekend, as we celebrate those who gave us life and who nurtured us along the way with loving care, let us not forget this most important gift that we received from them, that we are a part of a rich fabric of society that does not work when we do not see our interconnectedness and to take responsibility for one another. All of us, in every neighborhood, in every city, and in every country. This is what it means to choose life, to feel commanded to do so. Not only life for me and my family, but for millions for whom these days, these weeks, and months will make a difference. We must learn to love them as we love ourselves. And right now, this is simply what love looks like. Shabbat Shalom. I'm so pleased to welcome Sarah Freeman. I think Ian and perhaps Nia are also there with Sarah to offer a word of welcome. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi. Thank you so much. I have a few virtual announcements for tonight. Next week on Sunday the 17th, starting at 4 o'clock, is IHC's annual meeting. It's open to all members of the congregation, so please attend if you're able. Watch your inbox or check your spam folder for an email with instructions on how to register for and join the Zoom meeting. Pre-registration is required for this meeting. You can also register in advance for the upcoming Sisterhood Spring meeting, which will be at 7 o'clock on Tuesday the 12th. In the meantime, and as always, check the website and the weekly update for other ways to connect with your IHC family. When I checked in with Dan to make sure I could still do the announcements tonight, he said I could even share some thoughts of my own, which he will regret at some point for having offered that. But I just wanted to say, nobody can leave. That's the best. I guess you can. Please. I'm always proud to be a member of IHC, but I'm prouder than ever to be a member of IHC, and I'm proud of our entire community as we continue to support, serve, educate, and entertain each other when we're all feeling a little bit unsettled, maybe even scared, and occasionally bored. I can't even begin to express all my gratitude and appreciation to the leadership shown by our clergy and staff as they live our Jewish values by making choices to protect our health and safety while still ensuring our right to freely practice our religion. Those things are entirely compatible. And I virtually applaud you and thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. So I've rambled on a bit, but I just want to close by reminding everyone to take care of yourselves. And what I'm about to say isn't something that is selfish. It isn't. Give yourself what you need to be healthy in mind and body. Allow yourself to accept help when it's offered, and kindness and friendship. This allows you to be able to offer the same to around you when they need it as well. So, to quote a movie that we watched the other night, a couple of the sages of my generation, I'll share their wisdom with you. Be excellent to each other. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much for that reference. That's another great movie that we'll have to dig out to show Sierra. She may regret that you just planted that idea in our heads, but we appreciate that very much, Sarah. Thank you. I will mention that we have lots of activity happening online to try to stay connected, and you can find all of that on our website and our Facebook page. We hope that you are staying safe, and if there's anything that you need, we do have volunteers who are out and about when they can and in safe ways. So please let us help. Please be in touch with us at the office. Someone asked in the chat, when will the synagogue be open? And unfortunately, we are not close to that, I don't think. We are following the guidelines of the CDC as well as our local government. We are also doing what we think as the leadership of the synagogue is best. I would encourage you to come to our annual meeting, which we promise will be interesting and brief. But we also want you to, those members of the congregation, to know a little bit more about our thought process about how to move forward. So we hope to see you then. We would like to move now to an opportunity to recognize those who are in mourning among us. This week has been a difficult one as we have said goodbye to many in our congregation. Not all of them for reasons affected by COVID, but certainly many for that reason. We would like to specifically mention the following names, and then we'll join together for Kaddish, and I will make sure that the chat is open again. If you would like to add the name of a loved one there for me to include in our list for Kaddish, I'll do my best to read all of those names once we get there. This week we said goodbye to Debbie Casper's uncle. We said her family is sitting Shiva for Robert Silverstein. And we also add to his name those who were taken from our congregational family during the past 30 days, whose families are in the period of Shloshim. And we remember Jerry J.J. Abrams, Christopher Hargis, Mark Fox, Jerry Arfa, Larry Hertzman, Elsie Siegel, Albert J. Miller, Bernie Green, Dolores D. Calderon, Joe Sweezy, A. Bob Dunbar, Robert Dunbar. We also add to their names those whose yahrzeits occur this week, the anniversary of their passing. And on the Shabbat, we are remembering Henry Abraham, Maxwell Abramson, Bertha Asher, Carol Barkin, Louis Bassler, Robert Berg, Fan Blickman, Louis Bornstein, Florence Buloff, Estelle Bernstein, Mark Cohen, Joe Cohen, Ron Korn, Alice DaCosta, Peter Deleuze, Bessie Drescher, Jill Dumas, Michelle Dwoskin, Louis Goldsmith, William Graff, Ethel Greenberger, Theodore Grossman, Jack Gutman, Stacy Harris, I. Ferdinand Kahn, Ruth Kamen, Anna Kaplan, Nicholas Katona, Esther Kaufman, Dorothy Kraus, Barbara Kushnick, James Leeds, Herman Leitman, Madeline Lilienfeld, Nina Loeb, Werner Loeb, Abe Miller, Sadie Miller, Manuel Millman, Imogene Mitchell, Max Nelson, Sophie Pinchuk Cohen, Majid Rastegar, Lloyd Reed, Molly Ryder, Helen Rome, Stephen Rudolph, Arthur Sachs, Ruth Satz, Robert Scott, Sally Sushnick, Claire Stevens, Ida Stillerman, Sophie Strauss, Esther Tanner, Melvin Weissman, Julia Weiss-Varga, Mary Widner, Alan Yosha. We also remember the names mentioned in our chat. We remember Margaret Marcone, Scott Kaplan, Matthew Beatty, Rabbi Sissy Curran, Robert Cantor, Esther Richmond, Abraham Tobin, Gertrude Goldstein, Hannah Cohen, Adele Stein, Naomi Yeager. Zichronam Livracha, may all of their memories be for blessing. I invite you to join with me in Mourner's Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash Shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach hirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chaye echon u'v'yom echon, u'v'chaye techol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha brichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushvachata v'nechamata da'amiran b'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabbah min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom yimromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. We add to this blessing for peace for our people, the people of Israel, also a prayer for peace for all of God's creatures, all who dwell on earth. We say together, Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. Amen. It is wonderful to be with all of you, and we look forward to seeing many more of you at our programs during the week, studying tomorrow if you would like to in the morning. Our study group has been doing Parshat HaShavua, which is the Torah portion for the week, and we have been starting to post the study sheet on our website. If you go there, you'll be able to find that. You can download it if you'd like to see it a little bit bigger than it might appear on the screen. But I hope that you'll join us, considering joining us tomorrow or during the week. For now, let's wish one another a Shabbat Shalom, with those simple words, a Sabbath of peace, but also umivorach, a Shabbat, a Sabbath of blessing. Shabbat Shalom, 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 Shir HaMalot Yeshuv Ladonai Et Shivat Zion Hayinu Kechomin. They work this around. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Rabbi Fox, I think you've got one more blessing for us before we say goodbye, and Shabbat Shalom to you.
Shabbat Shalom. We know that this experience is something that feeds our hearts, our souls. But on Shabbat, what would a Jewish celebration be if we didn't feed our stomachs as well? So I want to invite us all to join together in the blessing over our challah. Join together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Everyone, a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And as always, we invite a little bit of chaos into our world here by allowing everyone to unmute for just a moment here before we end and wish one another a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Back up.
Shabbat Shalom to you all.
Thank you, clergy. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi.
We'll post the sermon online. So for those of you who asked, yes, the sermon will be posted online.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to you all.
10-year anniversary, Rabbi.
Thank you very much. We will have to celebrate in person very, very soon. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Look, it's Miss Judy. Hi, Miss Judy.
Hi, Benjamin.
Bobby, I'm looking at your phone.
Aww.
That's so sweet.
Thank you to all of you who helped with the services today. Thank you so much to my clergy partners. As always, you are all wonderful. Dan Cillian, thank you so much for helping. Those of you out of town especially, it's so nice to see you. I see Trisha Miller there with Lynn. Hi, Shabbat Shalom to you.
You said you wanted the muffins heated up, right?
Shalom to you, the Wormsers and Vicky's there. Hello, Mendelssohns. Hello to the Hermans, Kevin, Professor Korn, hello.
Sharon, Shabbat Shalom.
Andy and Julie Smith, hello, Shabbat Shalom to you. It's so wonderful to see you all. I'm never going to get to all your names. Hello to the Cohens. Tell you the truth, I'm missing chocolate toffee matzah. I'm sort of
Shabbat
missing
Shalom, Bob the Builder.
Shalom to you all. I love there's a number of quarantine beards that I'm seeing out there. Is that what that is?
Apparently, at that time.
I've always had mine.
From New
True,
Jersey.
that's
We got
true.
together.
Shabbat Shalom, New Jersey.
Shabbat Shalom, yes. Hi, Katie, nice to see you.
No.
Hello, Jennifer, Shabbat Shalom. To the Wormsers, I saw you on there before. Sharon Foyer, hello, Shabbat Shalom.
You can say Shabbat Shalom and wait.
Everyone enjoys this weather. It's going to get very, very cold. So if you are able to get outside and take a walk tonight, this is the time to do it.
Shabbat Shalom, Mr. Matt.
Hello, Dorit. Shabbat Shalom to you.
Stop looking at your phone.
Catherine Soskin and Ron, hi. Catherine, you cut your hair. You have a short haircut. So nice to see you all the way in New Mexico.
Her birthday coming up. Wave up to Mr. Alex. Say hi.
Mr. Alex.
Wonderful. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Take care. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.